Hi, this is Dr. Dave Heber. Today what I want to talk to you about is immune support. You know, recently there have been a lot of global infectious diseases, and these have happened before. And we know that nutrition is critical to immunity. So what I'm going to do in this current series, we're going to talk about what parts of nutrition are critical for immune support. Let's take a look. First of all, you need to know that 70% of the immune system is located in the gut. It's what's known as the gut-associated lymphatic system. I wrote a book on this in 2014 called Immunonutrition, and you see the gut here highlighted. And the reason for that is that much of your immune cells that look to the outside world reside inside of the gut. So there's a barrier here on your intestinal villi, and these cells turn over every 6 hours. So they need the proper nutrients to grow and replace the ones that are sloughing off at the top. So we're going to talk about all the foods that are important in maintaining this barrier, this immune function, and giving proper signals to these immune cells that then go all over your body. And of course, this includes protein, colorful fruits and vegetables, fish oils, and maintaining and achieving a healthy body weight and healthy body fat, especially the fat in the middle. We've talked about the so-called visceral fat, which is, again, related to immunity. So let's take a look at protein. You know, protein is the first nutrient, and when we talk about protein, it's very important to maintain your immune function is to get adequate protein. And the reason is to maintain the protein in this barrier here between your intestine and the outside world. All these bacteria and other pathogens can get into your body through a broken immune system. So if you have inflammation and you have spaces here, you can get food intolerances, and you can also get immune system issues, which will weaken your immune system. So very important to get the right amount of protein, which, as we all know, is 1 gram per pound of lean body mass, or 2 grams per kilogram, and have that at every meal, and of course 20 grams within 30 minutes to 1 hour after the end of exercise. And let's take a look at how the immune system actually is related to the gut. How did it end up in the gut? And here's how it starts. It starts with breastfeeding. As a newborn baby, you start to get bacteria from your mother through the breast milk and through the skin, and those bacteria help you to establish the immune system. The dominant bacteria is something called Bacteroides infantilis, and it has a series of 9 different transport proteins to take up 150 different sugars, which are prebiotics. So they make this bacteria grow. Very selfish bacteria. Most bacteria feed each other. This guy here is very selfish, only feeds himself, and dominates the immune system in its early formation so that the body can develop the proper immune cells to link up with this single type of bacteria. And this is how your immune system starts. Now, if you're malnourished or you don't eat the right foods, lots of problems with immune function can occur. You can get inflammation or immune deficiencies. And foods support immunity. And how does this happen? Well, we start with the breastfeeding we've talked about. Actually, even in the uterus, you know, it was thought that the uterus, the baby was sterile in the uterus, but we now know bacteria from the mother actually get into the baby's gut even then. Then there's breastfeeding, and then, of course, as you broaden the diet, lots of different foods come in, and they interact, and the body either forms a food allergy or a food tolerance. I remember my children get little red blotches on their face when they first ate tomatoes, and then it goes away after a few days. And then as a young child, you have a fully developed immune system. And what happens here is a number of the maternal factors are here, and then you develop your own individual personalized immune system. Now, the most common allergies are to wheat protein, nuts, and seafood, and immune reactions can occur later in life as well. And you know, it's interesting that a lot of the food allergies are more common since we've been eating more of a Western diet and less fruits and vegetables and have a less healthy immune system. So food allergies, immune function, all related to nutrition. And now let's take a look at what happens in the extreme. What about kids who are very malnourished? Well, these children here in Bangladesh were part of a study funded by the Gates Foundation, and what they found was that these kids would develop a network of healthy bacteria in their gut only if they received the proper support. And if you had just milk powder and rice, which was typically given by aid agencies, they failed to improve the microbiome. But a combination of chickpea, soy, peanut, and banana flour, which they tested first in germ-free animals, mice and pigs, and then gave to the babies, actually helped over a period of 12 to 18 months to induce a healthier microbiome, which was more toward maturity. So you can see how the diet impacts the type of bacteria in the gut, and that you need to have healthy ones from various plant foods. Now, let's talk more about the microbiome and immunity. 99% of the genes in your body, about 1 million genes, are from your bacteria, not from your human genome. Your human genome is only 23,000 genes. Your microbiome, once your diet is established, is highly stable. Each of these colors are families of bacteria in the gut of a healthy person. You can see this little green area here. This was because the person had a cold and they stopped eating normally, and that affected their microbiome and their immune function. And so for all of us, healthy microbiome, healthy immune function are definitely connected. And this is very true whether you're obese or malnourished. So let's take a look at obesity and immunity. Well, it turns out that the microbiome determines how efficient you are in absorbing foods and stimulating inflammation. So if you have a plant-based diet, very different than a Western diet. So that changes the microbiome. 70% of these bacteria are not able to be cultured, which explains why this all wasn't discovered till about 20 years ago. There are about 1,000 different species, and these guys closely evolve as partners in dealing with the foods that you eat. So you are what you eat, as we always say, whether it's a plant-based diet or you're eating a Western diet, very different immune system. And what researchers have found is actually that some of the bacteria in the gut are specifically different along with different immune function. So let's take a look at this experiment done here. So when you have a fat gut right here in the middle, these fat cells grow very quickly, and they actually are very different than the fat cells in a lean person. In an obese person who has extra fat in the abdomen, you're going to get activated immune cells and inflammation coming from there. Not only that, but the individuals who are obese have decreased levels in gut antibodies called immunoglobulin A, or IgA, which controls a bacterial balance that affects fat absorption efficiency. With malnutrition, immune function decreases and absorbing more fat is good. But in obesity, absorbing more fat is bad. And there's a type of bacteria called desulfovibrio, which increased fat absorption in mice, taking over from a Clostridia species. The normal IgA secretion is then disabled, and that the one that normally maintains the balance of these bacteria. So obesity imbalances your microbiome and is associated with inflammation. So let's look some more at immunity, and plants are really what you should be eating most of. Humans evolved on plants, and plants develop their microbiome from the soil. And there are both prebiotics and probiotics in your diet that come from plants. And the plants are very smart in how they deal with the soil. They have roots that repel bad bacteria and absorb good bacteria. And what happens in your gut is that the prebiotics help to grow the healthy bacteria in your gut. And so plant-based diet is the best way to have immune support, lots of fiber, polyphenols, and other phytonutrient antioxidants. So let's take a look at how to eat a plant-based diet. Well, we all humans have color vision. So if you eat a colorful diet of 7 different colors of fruits and vegetables, you're going to get about 100,000 different phytonutrients. And what happens is these will then be absorbed by your bacteria, just like the soil bacteria in the plants. But this will now form a healthy microbiome that then affects immune function and will help to support your immune function and keep your immunity extremely healthy. So as we look at a plant-based diet, this is the most important thing. But another aspect of plant-based diet is what type of fats are in plants. So you don't think of plants as having fats, but they have about 10% fat. And that fat is a very healthy balance of omega-3 and omega-6 fats. And what are those fats? Well, we call them typically fish oils, are omega-3, and omega-6 are are the polyunsaturated fats found in meat products, processed foods, hidden in snack foods, and so forth. These two types of fats compete for the same enzymes, but the omega-3 go for these nice anti-inflammatory substances. These are called eicosanoids, or the omega-6, on the other hand, goes to the pro-inflammatory ones. So what you want to do is eat ocean-caught fish or seafood 3 times per week, or take 1,200 milligrams per day of fish oil supplements. And omega-9 is not part of this. That is olive oil and avocado. It's neutral, but it's about 145 calories per tablespoon. So in terms of immune support, fish oils are a great way to reduce inflammation and have healthy immune function. So finally, if we put all this together for immune support, it's all about personalized nutrition. So the discovery of the microbiome, these 14 trillion bacteria in and on our body, has changed our definition of nutrition science. So now we talk not only about genomics, but we talk about the microbiome and metabolism, because these bacteria affect how your foods are metabolized, what you absorb, how your immune system is supported. So ultimately, balanced nutrition and a healthy, active lifestyle maintains your microbiome and supports immune function. It's Dr. Dave Heber saying, stay healthy. We'll see you next time.